Good evening. Welcome to Lebanon City Council, August 13th, 2024. Mr. Burke, please call the roll.
Mayor Messer.
Here.
Vice Mayor Norris. Mr. Sellers.
Here.
Mr. Smith.
Here.
Mr. Lamoureux. Mrs. Eggers.
Here.
And Mr. Coe. Mr. Coe.
Yes. Here. Sorry.
Motion to excuse Mr. Norris and Mr. Lamoureux.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Very good. Please join with me for the invocation and the pledge.
Take my moment first. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this time. I ask that you give us wisdom as city officials to make decisions that are in the best for all the city residents. Lord, it's in your Son's name that I pray. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Looking at consideration of council meeting minutes, July 9th, 2024. Do I have a motion to adopt?
So,
Second.
Any comments, questions? Mr. Burke, please call the roll.
Mr. Coe.
yes.
Mrs. Eggers.
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Mr. Sellers.
Yes.
Mayor Messer.
Yes. Consideration of council work session minutes, June 17th, 2024. Do I have a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions, comments? Mr. Burke, please call the roll.
Mr. Coe.
Yes.
Mrs. Eggers.
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Mr. Sellers.
Yes.
Mayor Messer.
Yes. So tonight we have with us former Mayor Amy Brewer and Joe Schutz, and they're going to discuss with us their upcoming event, the human trafficking block. So, hands, go ahead and make your way to the podium. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor, City Council, and staff. Thanks for giving us the opportunity to come and speak to you tonight about a very, very important issue. I love it. We have a very large crowd that is here to hear what we are doing. With me, joining me are our team members. First, Holly Schutz and I are co-chairs of the Stop Trafficking Walk, along with Joe Schutz and Kaden, there we go, Kaden Schutz that are here this evening. You know, we do a lot of talking about events in our community, a lot of fun events, a lot of music events and things like that. But sometimes it's really important to bring awareness to serious issues that take place in our community and across the country. And so, you know, Joe, I'm going to turn it over to you just to talk about what your vision was and how we all got involved in the process of that.
Sure, thank you. Be glad to. So, human trafficking is a $150 billion industry a year. 40 million people are trapped in human trafficking around the world, which would be the equivalent of the entire population of the state of California plus a couple million people. So this is a human issue. This is not a partisan issue. This is a worldwide issue. 71% of those who are trapped in human trafficking are women and children, and 25% of the victims worldwide are children. 1 out of 100 is the number that will be rescued in the next 12 months from human trafficking, sadly. 7 years is the average lifespan of those who have been trafficked, for they are either found dead, they overdose, get an STD, commit suicide, they are subject to abuse, get HIV or malnutrition. So these are just some stats that are widely available. When we think of human trafficking, many times in our minds we think of Hollywood. We think of the white van pulling up with the hooded people that steal people and throw them in the back of the van. And certainly that is an aspect. Sexual human trafficking is part of this, but there's also things as forced labor, debt bondage, domestic servitude, organ removal, children soldiers, and forced marriages around the world. So this is a all-encompassing and a very large, kind of prevalent issue around our world. Holly and I got involved in this about 7 years ago when we were at a conference in Phoenix, Arizona, and there was a organization called Where Hope Lives that was actually rescuing victims and bringing them in, rehabilitating them, and they were gifted a large former hotel. But because most of the trafficking for these victims that they're rescuing happens in hotels, they wanted to make sure that the victims, when they came in when they were rescued, wouldn't go into a room that looked like where their abusers had them. And so they fit and furnish these rooms to make them look like five-star accommodations. When they come in, they're just blown away about, they don't have to do anything to be there. And so the Stop Traffic Walk is a national organization. These walks are happening in cities all around the country. And the organizers of the Susan G. Comer Walk for Breast Cancer Awareness were recruited to this endeavor, and so they have helped to organize this as a nationwide event. And so bringing this event to the city of Lebanon, we wanted to make sure that this was an event that the entire community could get excited about. We've been working on this for about 3 months, kind of behind the scenes and canvassing, and have gotten amazing feedback and good results from our business community. You can go to our website and you can find already there's a growing list of business sponsors that are on there. And there are some other opportunities for individuals to get involved. And so maybe, Katie, would you like to tell about the walk itself?
Sure. So I actually would like to just explain how it does impact our community. So we know that we have 2 major highways that are just 10, 15 minutes away from us. We have 75 and 71 that travel between our state, and so we know that these places can take us from one to another part of the state or part of the country in a very fast way, fast manner. And it's serious to think that we can get to 75 and that can take us all the way like Florida. It's huge because this trafficking happens not only like he said, it doesn't just happen in sex trafficking, it happens in organ, it happens in drugs, and many times when they're involved in drug trafficking or organ trafficking, it actually takes over in the sex trafficking as well. So this industry is huge, and it's not just affecting Lebanon, but it affects Centerville, Bellbrook, all these different areas that we should be wanting to help spread awareness to our community for. So the website is designed just to give some more evidence backing the reason for this walk, because people don't really know how serious human trafficking can really be, and we need to make it a prevalent issue to our community today. So the website, we have several banners, or what do you call these? Posters, flyers, that can take you to the website. But when you read it, the first portion of the website talks about the walk specifically, what it's supposed to do, how we're supposed to get involved, kind of how it makes people aware. And then as you follow the website, there's a place where it can take you to be registered for the walk. And then following underneath that shows you some evidence towards kind of the seriousness of it. It gives you the statistics that he was reading off for you. You can also find Where Hope Lives. You can find the links to Where Hope Lives is on the website as well. And then following down through the website is all of our sponsors. We have tons of community sponsors from Lebanon, from church groups to different organizations who are a part of trafficking here in Lebanon who want to partner with this event. So there's tons of different things and ways that you can look at trafficking on our website.
I also want to say, Councilmember Kristen Eggers is also a part of the team. Appreciate that city contact to help us work. Our event is September 7th at Miller Ecological Park. We were just there, kind of scoping out exactly where we wanted things. It's a family-friendly event. We really want people just to walk. And of course, walking is free, but if you want to do some contributing, there are bands for $5. A t-shirt is $25. We will be walking part of the way to Script Coffee, where one organization will be providing water. We'll walk back. Deputy Sheriff Barry Riley will be the MC. We also have, who else do we have in terms of that, or is that at your church? The main, yeah, if you could talk a little bit about that.
So our main event is September the 7th. That is the walk. Prior to the walk, on August the 24th, there's another flyer there, and all the council members have those. We have those for the audience too, if people would like to have them. I don't think I have enough, but I have some, and there's a QR code you can scan and get on our website. So on August 24th, Christy Sexton is the national chair of the walk, and we're bringing her in from Phoenix, Arizona, and she's going to do a town hall meeting at Script Coffee. And this is a free event. This event is open to everyone, but it is going to deal with some of the more dark side of the issues. Unlike the walk, which is very family friendly, bounce houses and that kind of thing, the event at Script Coffee, the town hall event, will be an event of stats, statistics, and we'll kind of show some of the darker side of this. And so it's a heavier topic, but we're having her in on the 24th to do this meeting, and then on the 25th, the next day, we're going to be showing for free of charge the Sound of Freedom movie, and it will be also on our website. You can get all the details about that.
We would like, and I gave Mayor Messer just a copy of the proclamation. I think everybody has a copy of it. We would love for, we would ask that the city do a proclamation for us, Mayor, and you sign it so that we could read it at the walk. We would love to have you all be a part of it. As a way to help raise awareness within our community and to be a part of the solution, to educate our community about these things. So we'd love for you to be able to do that. I'm sure that won't be a problem. Thank you very much on that. Did you all have any questions or anything that you would like to ask us?
So the budget back in the napkin is roughly $4.6 million a year for this location. Is it a single location, or are there multiple?
There are 3 locations. Two of them are in Phoenix, Arizona, and one is in Colorado City, which is the northernmost town in Arizona. Interesting story with that. That was the facility where Warren Jeffs, if you ever saw the FBI Most Wanted, Warren Jeffs had basically a harem there in Colorado City, and I think it was his 56th wife, she broke away before he got arrested. And after all the proceedings, she was gifted the property, which she never wanted to go back into the rest of her life. And she contacted Where Hope Lives through her attorney and said, I would like to donate this to you for whatever you want to use it for. And they turned it into a rehabilitation center for human sex trafficking. So there are 3 facilities that they're still trying to renovate all of the rooms. They have more space, but it's not renovated, and they cannot take any more survivors in until they can get the space renovated. That's what primarily the money raised in the walk is going to go for. And then there is also local partners. Thank you. There's local partners. The Dayton Dream Center has an arm of human trafficking in it, and so that's local dollars that will come right back here. And Dear Dinah is also an organization in Dayton, Ohio that is dealing on the streets 3-4 days a week with human sex trafficking, and so they are going to be they're kind of like co-sponsors of the event.
This is such a hard topic, but we can't look away from it.
Sure.
Raising awareness. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I want to kind of echo that same thing, because I think that, people forget nowadays that slavery still exists.
Absolutely.
But it's not in the form that people traditionally think of it as. And because it's not tied specifically to any race, etc., then we don't look at it that way. But it truly is. So I commend you guys for fighting against that. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Mr. Smith.
And it's a tough, I commend you because it's a tough thing to be involved in, I watched the movie Sound of Freedom, and it just realizing that this is not some fiction movie, this is real life, and it just tears you apart because I've got a 6-year-old, and all I can think of is all the families that are dealing with this. It's one of those things that you're like, oh, I can't imagine, but we can't, until it actually happens. And it's one of the crucial topics and issues that we have that really is not discussed because it's a dark topic, right? And it's one of those things that everybody thinks of it, but they don't want to be the one to bring it up. And it's preserving human dignity and protecting vulnerable individuals, you know, in the process. So you watch that Sound of Freedom movie, because before you mentioned it, that's the first thing, you know, that pops in my head is, like, I remember walking out of that movie being like, I'm going to enlist, basically, you know. I got to do something. So I commend you for stepping up, and it's such a crucial topic, so thank you very, very much.
And Mr. Sellers, you know, the Sound of Freedom movie did kind of spur some of this on too, but what we're going to find out on August 24th at the town hall meeting is the prevalence of social media and the luring away, and even for the youngest among us, like 6, 7-year-olds having phones that give them access to this world. Looks innocent in a sense, but it can actually lure them in. And during the day of the walk, we're actually bringing in another survivor from Phoenix, Arizona, who works in the Where Hope Lives facility with the young men's division of this. Her name is Irene Orr, and she's 18 years survived, and she's working full-time in this. And so she's going to give a quick little thank you for everyone, because the dollars we're raising is going to go directly into the work that she's doing on a daily basis.
Yeah, and people need to hear those stories, as tough as it is. People need to hear those stories.
Yeah.
What's your guys' website again, just so everybody can hear it?
It's really hard to get the direct URL because it's a very specific website code. So if you guys want it, you can search it up on Google by searching Stop Traffic Walk Lebanon. It's the first organic link that you see there, but that's the easiest way to tell you how to get to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And scan the QR code.
Okay.
And just
Yeah.
take you right to it.
Yeah.
And I'll leave these.
These events are free, correct?
These events are free.
So,
Correct.
I mean, could we get this on the city calendar so we can get as many people exposed to this as possible? Yeah.
And we have a Facebook page too as well that we've been sharing information with. We were, thank you, Mr. Branco, we were on the city show yesterday, so talking about it. So that was excellent to be able to share our mission and what we are doing. So gotten a lot of exposure, and being here to talk about it, and for a lot of people to hear and listen is really a great thing. So thank you again for the opportunity, and look forward to seeing everyone at our walk on September 7th at the beautiful Miller Ecological Park. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next, we have Matt Latham with the Warren County Parks update.
So I'm going to go ahead of Matt real quickly. So I'm Wendy Monroe. I couldn't resist coming back to my old stomping grounds. It's so fun to be here. But I'm here tonight because I am one of the Warren County Parks District Commissioners, Park Commissioners. And one of the most important roles that a board member, one of the important tasks they can do is hire a really great executive director. And so we did that with Matt. Matt just rounded out his first year at the Warren County Park District. Had a lot of shoring up to do. He shored up a lot of things. And so now we're in a great position moving forward. And he's going to tell you a lot about that. He has a great history of parks experience. And we stole him away from Metro Parks of Butler County. So we're happy to have Matt. This is Matt Latham, the CEO of the Warren County Park District.
All right, thank you, Wendy, and thanks, Council, for the opportunity to come and speak with you today. And I really hope that if you're comfortable, I would also hope to hear from you as part of this presentation. We're going through a strategic planning process, and as part of that, I've got a few questions that I would love it if the council would jump in and help us get through some of this. So anyway, but first I want to just thank the City of Lebanon for being a great partner with the Park District. We are trying to do more and more to get out into the community and partner with our other local park agencies to supplement what they're doing and contribute our own unique expertise, so that we can help provide a more complete suite of services around the county. And so with the City of Lebanon, we participated in the Miller Park Monarch release. We had our naturalists there who brought a couple ambassador animals. We had some caterpillars so that people could see the various stages of the life cycle of the butterflies that were being released that day. We also partner with the city and with OSU Extension on our wellness walks, and we participate in an outdoor recreation working group that is working with Scott and with many other leaders around the county to try to see how we can market better as a region the wealth of outdoor recreation opportunities that are here in Warren County. So just thank you for being a great partner. As I mentioned, the Park District is in the midst of a strategic planning process. So we're trying to put more meat on like the definition of who we are and what we want to accomplish in the community, how we want to serve this county. So we're engaged in a process where we're trying to understand community needs and trends, refine our mission and vision, our goals and objectives, and most importantly, define what our unique value proposition is. What is the thing that the Park District specifically brings to the table that complements and doesn't compete with what so many other agencies are doing, such as the city, such as townships and villages and the state of Ohio? What are those unique strengths that we bring to the table? That's what we're trying to identify as part of our strategic plan. So I'm not sure how familiar you are with the Park District, but we've got some background information. So Warren County Park District has 19 properties around Warren County. 13 of those locations are open to the public. Those are indicated on the map in green. We have 6 conservation areas that are not yet open to the public. Those are in brown. We call those future parks. Most of you are probably familiar with Armco Park, our flagship park just west of here on Route 741. Landon Deerfield Park down in Mainville is our second most popular park. And so what we have to offer, of course, is the great outdoors. We basically give people access to Mother Nature and we let her take it from there. But we also are very into making sure people are educated about their environment and about nature. And so we offer nature education programs. We provide places for people to walk, jog, access trails, access the Little Miami Scenic Trail. Several of our parks are along the Little Miami Scenic Trail and make good jumping off points for those larger excursions. Fishing and boating, water activities, playgrounds, sports. We even have a golf course at Armco Park, disc golf. You get the idea. So the Park District is actually its own political subdivision. We are not a county department. We work very closely with Warren County, but we aren't technically under the county commissioners. We have our own board of park commissioners, and you see them pictured up there. Wendy, who you heard from, Ben Yoder, Jeff Blasey, and then on the right is our appointing authority, Judge Joseph Kirby, the probate judge of Warren County. He appoints the park commissioners. And then we are funded these are our current funding sources, and even though we're not technically a county department, a large portion of our funding actually comes from the county commissioners, and it really is from their good graces and from our partnership. The county commissioners are under no obligation to give us any funding contractually or legally, but they do because we have a great partnership. The other half, most of that comes from money that we generate ourselves at Armco Park. We have the golf course, boat dock, the softball complex. All of those generate revenue that gets put right back into that park's operations. And then we have a smattering of grants and donations, and of course you can't have any pie chart without other. So a little bit about the Park District. This is the section of the Ohio Revised Code that authorizes park districts. So it talks about how the Board of Park Commissioners can acquire land for forest reserves, natural resource conservation, and then develop parks and preserves and protect and promote those areas. And so generally, park districts around the state focus on natural resource conservation, outdoor recreation, and nature education. And generally around the state, we see that park districts tend to specialize in large regional green space, passive recreation in nature, creating regional trails and connections, And then because we're a county-wide agency, we have the unique ability to work across those jurisdictional boundaries and create partnerships all around the county. So one of the questions I wanted to pose to you tonight, and if you could just shout out some brief answers if you're comfortable, what makes us unique and special? You know, either as a park district or as Warren County as a whole, as it relates to open space, green space, that kind of thing. What kinds of things spring to mind?
Proximity to the river, I mean, it's...
The Little Miami? Yeah. That's definitely a big one. Yeah, any others?
I would say also location between two major metropolitan areas.
Yeah, absolutely. We are accessible to a large number of people. So as part of our strategic planning process, we did some benchmarking. We went out and looked at what other park districts are doing and tried to compare ourselves based on some objective metrics. And so these are some examples of park districts that are in the metro region that you might be familiar with. And some of these are closer to us in size, like Metro Parks of Butler County. Some are smaller, like Greene County Parks and Trails, and some are big agencies like Great Parks and Five Rivers. But we actually looked across the whole state and said, well, which counties are of the most similar size to Warren County? Because we think that's the fairest comparison, right? The closest population size. So these are the 6 counties plus us that we looked at in terms of our benchmarking. And this is what we found. So in terms of how much land is being preserved relative to the county population, this is how the various park districts rank. And you'll see that Warren County Park District in all of these graphs is in the middle. And then in terms of how much funding each park district receives, again, this is how we compare to other park districts. Warren County Park District in the middle. You'll notice the absence of blue on ours indicates that the park district does not receive any levy funding. And then what impact does that have in terms of how we're able to invest in our lands to maintain them, update them, that kind of thing? In terms of what can we spend per acre? We actually broke this out because this is a little bit interesting. The 3 bars are all, in the middle, are all Warren County Park District. The left center one is just Armco Park. And the reason that one is so high compared to everybody else is because we have those revenue generating activities there. We have the ball diamonds and the golf course and the boat dock. And that gives us money that we have to spend at Armco Park because that park is on its own special revenue fund. So money generated at that park stays at that park. But then you can see the impact on the other parks in the county that we manage. In terms of that center bar is everything except Armco, and then the one to the right is sort of our overall average. So that puts us in the lower tier of the park districts that we're comparing ourselves to. But every cloud has a silver lining, right? And Warren County Park District knocks it out of the park when it comes to generating our own revenue. You know, with 48% of our budget coming from self-generated revenue, it exceeds all these other park districts that we are comparing ourselves to. So the next question is like, well, what can we learn from our peers? You know, what kinds of things are other park districts that, or other park providers around doing that we ought to emulate or we ought to learn from? Anything, does anything spring to mind there?
Probably not property taxes.
Well, have you been to like Cox Arboretum,
Yeah.
Miamisburg area? So one thing that always impresses me there is their facility for weddings and things like that, so people can have a lot of events. So Armco is awesome for, you know, more casual events and that sort of thing, but I think, you know, knowing how many people are looking for event space in the county, I think that that type of a facility, if it was possible, would be really nice and would be utilized a lot.
Yeah, something a little more elegant for an event like that, sure.
The sports complex, that was not on
Yes, because we don't run the sports complex. The sports complex is run by the Warren County Visitors Bureau. Yeah.
And it has to be like that, or can it be?
I don't know. Okay, well, let's see. But Warren County does have a wealth of outdoor recreation assets, as I mentioned before. But one of the things that we have is we also have a bunch of different jurisdictions. We have 29 different political jurisdictions in this county. So it really speaks to the idea of having a unifying force, a way to get people to partner. And that's something we're looking at very closely in our strategic plan. Also, the park assets that we do have, this map shows where they're located, how they're distributed, and that kind of thing. So we have city parks and township parks. We have one big state park. So we have a lot of assets even now. So one of the questions we're asking ourselves, and we would love to hear your opinions on that, is how do we partner with neighbors to connect our assets, to create a network of open space opportunities?
I think we're primarily working with you on bike trail connectivity. I mean, that's one of our big pushes that we've been working on for years.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll have a little more to say about that in a minute.
Probably watershed is important.
Yep. So we're all, I mean, the city of Lebanon just does such a great job with their parks and recreation. You guys obviously recognize the benefits of parks and having a strong park system because you guys have intentionally created that within your city boundaries. So I don't have to spend a whole lot of time selling the benefits of parks because you guys already know it. I mean, especially when it comes to health and when it comes to, reducing ADHD, reducing depression, and saving healthcare costs because of the physical activity that people can do in parks. And the economy, increased property values, making your place, your city, your county, an attractive place to live, work, and play. Parks are crucial to that and creating a sustainable prosperity in the community. So knowing that these parks have a great benefit, what in your opinion is missing from the Warren County Park District that we ought to be looking at?
You got my one.
Mm-hmm. Good.
You got a lot of people.
Yeah. I will get a little bit into how you all will have the opportunity to participate yourselves as we move forward through this process. So don't worry. And then we're getting towards the end of the presentation here. Just a couple of projects and initiatives. We recently installed synthetic turf at our Armco Park softball complex. We have 4 diamonds there at Armco Park. And that was made possible due to an ARPA grant that we received through the Warren County Commissioners. That's been a real game changer for that complex and has really generated a lot of excitement. We are also working with the City of Lebanon on some trail connectivity planning. We have submitted a grant application to connect Armco Park to Union Village and Otterbein, sort of as a first phase. And then the logical next step would be to go through Union Village, connect to Parkside, and really open up that connectivity between Shaker Run all the way down through the City of Lebanon, and then through your existing countryside YMCA all the way to the Little Miami Scenic Trail. So it's a really exciting opportunity. So lastly, I'd like to ask just how can we partner with you to achieve common goals? How do we work together so that we can complement each other?
Do you feel like there are ways that we are missing right now, in your opinion?
I don't know. I think that the city has been a great partner so far. I think more regional coordination is going to be good. We're happy to, after we finish our planning process, to assume a leadership role in that. Scott has already done some of that through our outdoor recreation marketing coordination group. So I think if we expand that regional cooperation, I think that's a really great start. And then also, our naturalists are eager to get into not just our parks, but also city parks to provide that nature education and have a presence, not just in Warren County parks, but in all parks across the county.
I noticed there was only 6% of your budget is from grants. Is that something that you guys are looking at?
Oh, absolutely.
Bolstering?
Yes, 100%.
Are you grant writing, or is?
So it depends on the grants. Sometimes I'll write them, sometimes we'll work with partners to write them, sometimes we'll work with our friends group. It really just depends on the best fit.
I know that's something that we're actively going after all the time. So
Yeah.
if there's connection there, then.
Absolutely, and Scott's really a master at that kind of thing, so.
He absolutely is.
Yeah.
I think with the goal in the partnership, I mean, I feel like sometimes we, city, we have some blinders on because we have our budgets and what we can spend, and we know what and we have a goal of connectivity with our bike trails, and we're putting money where our mouth is. I mean, the public wants it, and we're trying to do it. And to connect to parks and connect out to Armco, and like you said, so we have that continuous trail. So we're really working on that, and we plan that. I think one thing I see missing is a real effort, and I was just up in Cleveland and saw Cuyahoga Valley area. They really integrate their creeks and their watershed areas.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's not a criticism, but it's just a fact. Over the years, we've dumped concrete, things along the creek. I would love to see the beautification of that, and it costs a lot of money, and I don't know how, there's going to be areas, that's city-related stuff, but there's probably areas where that could be a partnership event, or effort, I should say.
Yeah, and that's also a place where grant funding is available, so that would be definitely worth looking into.
Yeah, I mean, I think sometimes we run across the way Scott's indicated, like you said, city staff's a master at getting grant money, and but having the counties weight behind some of these efforts that I think sometimes might be lacking, only because you probably don't know about it, right? I think there's that effort, or that ability to communicate better.
Excellent.
We can get the county behind us.
Yeah, very good.
As far as state lobbying, where are you in that sphere of influence?
That's a good question. I think we work through Ohio Park and Rec Association with some of that. I'm in Columbus meeting with state legislators at least once a year, and I actually met with our state legislature several times. We're working on that. We're working on trying to access state capital funding, those types of things. So yeah, that's.
How many unique jurisdictions? Is there 26?
29. Yeah.
Maybe just spitballing here, having the Chamber Alliance does a drive-in and a fly-in
Yep.
every year. Maybe something coming together as park districts to the capital would be beneficial.
Oh, interesting idea. Okay, yeah. Absolutely. Okay, well, great. Well, again, our strategic planning process is currently underway. We have a steering committee of about 35 key stakeholders who are guiding us through that process. We just finished up a series of 8 online focus groups that had 122 participants from various backgrounds to help guide that as well. We are getting ready to push out a statistically valid survey within the next couple of weeks to really gauge those county-wide perceptions of what people see and what they're looking for. Once we have a draft plan in the fall, we're going to be going out to locations all around Warren County with public open houses before we arrive at a final plan in the first quarter of 2025. So that's our contact info. WarrenCountyParks.com is our website. And again, I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. There are, I think, 3 seats over here if anybody would like to grab them. Anybody's sick of standing? So we have a lot of these to get through tonight. Each person will have 3 minutes to speak. Please come to the podium when I call your name and give me your name and address for the record. If we could, I know everybody will want to clap and things like that, but just to move the process forward, since we have, looks like over 30 to get through. If we could just save that till the end, that would be fantastic. And just keep everything respectful, and there's a lot of people here and it might be differing opinions, but we appreciate you coming and look forward to hearing from you. First we have Karen Kotnick.
I appreciate you guys letting me come here because I live in Mason. And I just got involved with some of the lovely people in this room for Lebanon Pride. And I just wanted to come and just say thank you to all of you for what you did. And it was really a profound day for me. My daughter came up and we decided to help with, we were eyes and ears. And we ended up staying for about 9 hours. And I'm just here because my nephew was 22, I brought a picture. And I think that if these kind of events were available to him 15 years ago, he might have survived it. He took his own life about a year after he came out to me. So I just wanted to come here and say thank you to everybody for who did this and allowing us to be a part of it. I think it's a big deal. We had so much fun. I think the city enjoyed it. I think the businesses enjoyed it. I'm just hoping that it can expand and get bigger and bigger. And I really just want to say to you all, you guys are going to save lives with this. I really believe it. So thank you for letting me come.
Becca Shelley.
Hi, my name is Becca Shelley. I currently live at 2747 Miamisburg, Ohio. I did live most of my life in Lebanon. I'm currently a board member at LTC. Growing up, I was best friends with Mike Cope's daughter in preschool at Lebanon Christian. From K through 12, I was homeschooled in the local evangelical Christian circles. My parents lived a few doors down from Michelle Berry, and I grew up playing with her kids. I went to Awana at Urban Crest and participated in several American Heritage Girls troops, one of which my mother organized in Lebanon. I was a girl who dreamed of being a mother, committed to not dating till 18, dressed modestly and avoided attention to myself. My heart was for Jesus first, and I was almost untouched by the secular world. I didn't listen to popular music. I didn't consume popular books or movies. To this day, I have not read The Hunger Games or Harry Potter. I got up early to read my Bible. By the time I was a teenager, I knew more about the Old Testament than my youth pastors, and I was asking questions about the New Testament that they couldn't answer. When gay marriage was legalized, I didn't really grasp what was going on. I was everything I was supposed to be. Despite checking all of the boxes, I never belonged. I was never welcomed into my Christian family. I was always kept on the outskirts. I was never home in the church, whether it was Urban Crest, Antioch, Faith Bible, or Cobblestone. In fact, when I reached out, desperate for support, struggling with my home life, and so ill I was housebound, the only response I got was, "Why aren't you coming on Sundays?" I was never home in Lebanon. I was never accepted, never supported, never loved for who I was, despite being everything I was supposed to be. On July 20th at Pride, Lebanon felt like home for the first time. At sunset, I cried, sitting on the streets of my hometown, watching people be loved and supported and valued and protected simply because they are human and they are worthy of it. Proud to love the people around them, regardless of who they are. Canon Jesus, as my friends call him sometimes, the ones I know from my hours of biblical study, would have wept from joy that day. Proud to see the loving and supportive community that was vibrantly thriving. the loving and supporting community I have needed my whole life, and that is sorely missing from some of our evangelical churches. Because of this community, I know who I am. I am everything I'm supposed to be, despite whatever boxes I may check. I am a storyteller, an organizer, I am outspoken, and I am proud to use my skills to stand beside and support a community that we so desperately need. A community who loves and supports me and everyone for who they are. A community I believe Jesus would be proud of. I hope you will continue to stand by us too. Thank you.
I love your clapping. Can we at least break it up into every 10? Next we have, I think it's John Foner, or Forner?
Tough act to follow. Tough act to follow.
Exactly.
My name is John Fauner. I live on Turfway Court here in Lebanon. I'm here with my wife, Michelle. I bring greetings from Church Venture. We're in Hamilton Township, where we practice the radical hospitality of Christ. Everyone is welcome at Christ's table, as we believe. And it's interesting that tonight what we've been talking about so far is hospitality. Warren County, Ohio's greatest playground. The enduring symbol of the city of Lebanon is the Golden Lamb, Ohio's oldest inn, a place of hospitality where you'll be fed. We won't ask questions at the door. We'll feed you. In its time, it housed presidents. It was a place of hospitality. I'm tickled to hear the presentation from Matt about the Park District. If our outdoor spaces are part of our hospitality, our radical hospitality, where everyone is welcome, we don't ask for credentials at the door, we don't ask about your chromosomes, we don't ask about who you love. We're glad you're here, and this is the place, whether it's at our great parks, at Kings Island, at the Golden Lamb, at our park districts here, at our church, at many other churches who were alongside us as sponsors and vendors at the festival, welcoming everyone to our door. Warren County, if it's anything, is a place of radical hospitality. And that's what's so important about the Pride Festival. The rules of the playground, the parks, the restaurants, and here as well. Have fun. Wait your turn. You don't jump lines. It's family friendly, and bullies aren't welcome. They'll throw you out of Kings Island, they'll throw you out of the Golden Lamb, they'll throw you out of the Park District if you're a bully. Bullies aren't welcome. I told several people on the 20th that it's a beautiful day, and the weather was pretty nice too. It was a beautiful day. And today's a beautiful day too. God gave us rainbows to celebrate and to remind us of His love. That's what the Pride Festival is all about. It extends the radical hospitality and welcoming of every part, every inch of Warren County. It extends the love that already comes from our parks, from our playgrounds, our restaurants, our churches. Come, have fun, know you're loved, no qualifications to get in. Bullies, stay away. Soybean farmers, if they showed up to protest the Apple Fest, we'd laugh at them. But there's a whole lot more soybean farmers than there are apple growers in Warren County. But that's our festival, right? It's Apple Fest. Come celebrate. If you don't like apples, don't come. Right? Blues Fest, country music. If you want to talk to a community that knows the blues, they are right here. You want authentic blues? It's this young woman right here. And if she loves blues music, she is welcome at the Blues Festival. If you don't like blues music, don't come. Our church was one of the first to sign up as sponsors and vendors. And I pray that we'll get to do it next year, and the year after, and a decade from now, and 25 years from now, and we'll wonder why it ever mattered that we couldn't celebrate Pride along with all the other radical hospitality things that we celebrate in Warren County. Every person in the county who shows up and isn't a bully is a treasure to this county. And I'm glad to be part of that crowd. Thank you.
Thank you. Andrea Markey.
Hi, my name is Andrea Markey, and I live at 4297 Prairie Smoke Court in Lebanon, Ohio. I've lived in Lebanon for 16 years. I'm a member of Harmony Unitarian Universalist Church in Landon, Ohio. Our members come from all over Warren County, including right here in Lebanon. I've been a member of our church for 12 years, and I'm currently the co-president at this church. Our church was a sponsor of the Lebanon Pride Festival, and we also had a booth that was staffed all day by our members. All 13 of our members that staffed that booth had such a fantastic day, meeting all the members of our community, talking to them, and just enjoying the joy and love that was in downtown Lebanon. The event was beautiful, well organized, and a huge success. So much love and joy was in downtown Lebanon. I want to thank everyone here who volunteered, poured their howdah, pulled their time, everything for that community that day. Just thank you so much. I want to ask City Council to encourage the Board of Festivals and Tourism to approve the Lebanon Pride Festival for many future years here in our community. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's me.
That's you?
Hi, my name is Anke Peach. My pronouns are she, her. I live in Lebanon on Gentleman's Court. I'm a social worker and a school-based mental health therapist. I oversaw the Kids Zone at the Pride Festival. We had lots of different activities, including arts and crafts, playing with bubbles, making friendship bracelets, face painting, a book raffle, a smoothie bike, temporary tattoos, kindness rocks, drumming, and animal encounters. The Lebanon Public Library was there. We painted a community mural, and it was fun and positive, a wonderful event for the kids, youth, and adults that attended the Kids Zone and the festival. For the last 15 years, but especially since the pandemic, youth mental health has been a concern, as feelings of anxiety and persistent feelings of sadness and hopelessness are experienced by 1/3 of high school students, according to the Center of Disease Control and Prevention. Suicide is the second leading cause of death among young people aged 10 to 14, and the third leading cause of death among 15 to 24-year-olds. This is data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention from 2022. Lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and questioning young people are at significantly increased risk. They are more than 4 times as likely to attempt suicide than their heterosexual peers. The Trevor Project's 2023 U.S. National Survey of Mental Health of LGBTQ+ young people found that 41% seriously considered attempting suicide in the past year, including roughly half of transgender and non-binary youth. These mental health disparities result from increased experiences of discrimination and rejection from others. However, in 2019, a survey from the Trevor Project showed that LGBTQ+ youth who report having at least one accepting adult were 40% less likely to report a suicide attempt in the past year. Recent studies showed that having an adult role model or mentor who shared their identity is associated with higher levels of resilience and emotional strength, hope, self-esteem, academic success, and career aspirations, which are all protective factors. Having a Pride Festival in our community shows everyone, but especially LGBTQ+ youth, that they're accepted, supported, and loved. That it's okay to be themselves. That there are people who share their identity and people who are their allies. Feeling connected and supported in the community is a powerful way to protect youth mental health. Pride is suicide prevention. Thank you.
Ian McPherson.
Good evening, council members. I'm here today to share the overwhelming positive impact Lebanon Pride Festival has had on our community. I had the privilege of being there at the event from sunup to sundown, and I can confidently say that it was a day filled with joy, unity, and pride. Everyone I spoke with expressed how incredibly happy they were to be part of such a welcoming and inclusive celebration. It was more than just an event. It was a moment for our community to come together and support one another in a truly meaningful way. Throughout the day, I made it a point to check in with our several local businesses, and I was thrilled to hear that they were not only pleased with the increase in business, but also with the positive behavior and respect shown by our festival goers. The festival brought a vibrant energy to our city, and it was clear that it was a win-win for both our residents and our local economy. But beyond the economic benefits, the festival holds a deeper significance. It's crucial for our community members, especially those who may feel isolated, to know they are not alone. The festival sends a powerful message that they have a proud, supportive community standing behind them. It fosters a sense of belonging and reinforces that Lebanon is a place where everyone can feel valued and accepted. In closing, the Lebanon Pride Festival was not only just an event, it was a celebration of who we are as a community. It showcased our commitment to inclusivity, boosted our local economy, and most importantly, provided a space where everyone can feel proud to be themselves. I encourage the council to continue supporting this important event for the years to come. Thank you.
Chelsea Thomas.
Hi. So I've been part of this community for a while. I've worked with a lot of people in this room. Amy, Scott, Kristen, we've all worked on some very important, powerful causes in the past, and I think this is a pretty important one too. So I'm here today to tell you what this Pride Festival has meant to me. A lot of times, though I love this community so much, I have felt othered a lot. When I was standing there on Mulberry Street during Pride Festival, it was like just a crazy moment. I was like, I can't believe I'm standing here with my community, that these community members are here, and that they're being accepted, and that we're here together. I just want to leave you with kind of the power that I think this festival has brought, not just to Lebanon, but our surrounding communities. We've really sent an important message. So I work in Middletown, and I was driving to a church that I serve with, doing some, I guess we serve lunch and other things to help the homeless population, and I passed a volunteer who I work with, and we're not allowed to pick up volunteers, but I was like, okay, I'm just going to pick this guy up. So I picked him up, he got in my car, and he was like, hey, I think I saw some pictures of you on Facebook at the Pride Festival. And I was talking to him, and we just talked for a little while, and he ended up telling me that his son is gay, and that he hasn't talked to his son in probably 20 years. He he didn't take it very well when he came out, and he just hasn't reconnected. And I kind of encouraged him to do that. And it's just a very cool thing to think that, you know, somebody in Middletown might reconnect with their family because of the work that these people did. That's, you know, how many people saw Facebook? Tons, not just this guy in Middletown, but all of our surrounding communities saw what Lebanon did. And it was really, really special. So thank you guys for listening. I'm really glad that you're here. Thank you.
Linda Powers?
My name is Linda Powers, and I live at 626 Crestview Drive here in Lebanon. And I just came tonight to encourage you and the city of Lebanon to have an annual Pride Festival. This year's was well done, well run, a family event, fun. Everybody enjoyed themselves, and it celebrated a part of our community. Yes, I believe God created man and woman, or none of us would be here. We're here. But that man and woman, just look at that. What an amazing variety of humans are in this world. If you look around, and all made in God's image, we're told, which is an image beyond any of our abilities to even comprehend. Those who do not want a Pride Festival, choose not to attend, as the other gentleman said. If you don't like country music, you don't go to the Country Music Festival. If you find blues lyrics offensive or too suggestive, you just don't go. If you don't want to go to the Oktoberfest, if you don't like beer and German heritage, you just don't go. But we have a choice. Let everyone have a choice. And, you know, we should have that freedom to make that choice. And as for drag shows not being family-oriented, it can be done. It was done. And guess what? Talk to Jack Lemmon. I'm showing my age here. Flip Wilson, Tony Curtis, John Travolta, Robin Williams, Tyler Perry, just to name a few. Yes, drag shows can be family-oriented, and they can be fun and funny. My hope is that the city of Lebanon will choose to allow our members in the Pride community who are part of our community to celebrate their identities as part of God's kingdom. Thank you.
I think it's Grant Coral. Is that right?
Excuse me, I'm a terrible orator, and I've never met any of you or done this.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for coming.
So, first question, Mr. Sellers. Earlier when Ms. Brewer and her group of folks that were talking about the trafficking thing, you mentioned stories. You wanted to hear stories. How many of you guys on council actually showed up to Pride to witness it? Like, I mean, that's not rhetorical, I want to know.
So it just started, yeah.
It's not an attack, I just want to know, because it would...
If you have some things to say, or you want to make a statement,
okay, sorry.
state your position, you can do that.
Sorry, it was just, it was
we
just...
are more than willing to follow up an email if you want to email us.
Oh, no, it was just kind of a dialogue. It's like, it would have been a great opportunity for you to come down there and witness these things happening. Because everyone came there. There were stories. There were experiences being shared. This allowed everyone in Warren County and Lebanon to do that. What's really made, it was an amazing turnout. There were 0 issues, happy faces, tears of joy, tears of validation. By far the most positive experience I've ever had working down on Mulberry Street. And I worked at the Village Wine Cellar for 10 years as a bouncer. At the end of every single drunken festival we've had, I've had either a physical altercation, had to call the police, witnessed bigotry, and all sorts of terrible things happen. That didn't happen at all here at Pride. Nothing. I dread working on Mulberry Street every time. This time was an absolute joy to be down there. The police looked bored. Let's see, where was I? It gave a unique opportunity for the vendors, the artists, performers that we had in our town or near our town. More money for Lebanon. I mean, we've already seen what Lebanon did with the Country Music Festival. Guess what Mason did? They ran with it, and they made it humongous. Now look at it. Jason Aldean, I got news for you, Mr. Aldean. It did happen in a small town. The cherry on top was the Queens of Kings. We had a drag show at King's Bar, out of all places in this town. And if any one of you who grew up in this town long enough to know the reputation that that bar holds, you will know, and I will quote the great Bob Dylan, and I'll leave you with this, the times, they are a-changin'. Thank you.
Janice McPherson. You did a great job, by the way, for your first time.
Good evening. My name is Janice McPherson. I live in the countryside subdivision over by the Y. I was at Lebanon Pride Festival all day on July 20th, and I saw a wonderful festival that really showcased our downtown to many visitors. I was in charge of organizing vendors, so in doing that, I heard from both them and many local businesses how wonderful they found the festival setup, how nice all the guests were, and how busy they had been all day. However, it's not just about the festival itself. It is also the domino effect. The nonprofits that raise money and awareness for important causes, visitors spending money in restaurants and shops, and returning again for other city events. I heard from both guests and vendors how charming they found downtown Lebanon, what a cute town it was, and how much they enjoyed visiting our city. As a resident of Lebanon, I was so proud of how our town was able to present itself, and I hope that they visit again and continue to patronize our local businesses. I believe having this festival return will be good for our whole community and specifically downtown businesses. So I am asking this council to encourage the Board of Festivals and Tourism to approve this Lebanon Pride Festival again for the next year. Thank you.
Corey Wagonfield.
Corey Wagonfield, 75 Hermay Drive, Hamilton, Ohio. I am here because I had several people mention to me that there is a concerted effort, not necessarily by you all, to make sure that this festival does not happen again. So I wanted to come and speak to that. As I mentioned, my name is Pastor Corey Wagonfield, and almost 4 years ago I was called to serve in ELCA Lutheran Church here in Lebanon. Our denomination affirms all people, including LGBTQIA+ folks, as perfectly and wonderfully made children of God. And we celebrate the diversity of people as a gift given by God for the common good. While I believe this, and while I would say most of the people who worship with us on Sunday morning also believe this, there are some people in our church who do not share that same belief. And you know what? They're still welcome to be members of our church, even with differing beliefs. We can love them also and welcome them as part of the community. As much as I may want them to reconsider their beliefs, they can hold on to those beliefs as long as they want and still be part of our congregation, so long as their words and actions do not marginalize or hurt someone else. There's room within the walls of our congregation for differing beliefs, so long as we treat one another in love. And there is room in Lebanon for differing beliefs and festivals, so long as we come from a place of love and do not try to infringe upon the rights of others. The Pride Festival, which I am proud to say we have supported since nearly day one, was a social and financial success for this city. The volunteers at our booth commented that countless people came up to them to say thank you for being a church in Lebanon that stands up for the rights of the LGBTQIA community, who are often so marginalized and vilified. I also wanted to say that I've heard people say that the Pride Festival was indoctrinating people. But no more indoctrination happened that day than what happens every Sunday morning in churches across this city. We don't try to shut down our churches for indoctrination. We don't call church teaching indoctrination, because those beliefs largely line up with those who are in social power. Let's quit trying to judge one another, legislate one another, and force one another to act or believe in a certain way, and instead let's let people have their right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So I am here today to ask the City Council to consider encouraging the Board of Festivals and Committees to allow the Pride Festival and all of the city's festivals to continue to celebrate the true diversity of the city that makes it unique. Charlotte Brunner? Or Bruner?
Good evening. My name is Charlotte Brewer. I am a resident of Gulf Manor, Ohio, which is down in Hamilton County. I am actually an elected official. I am on their village council. I am the first openly bisexual woman to be elected to a position on council in Gulf Manor. And Gulf Manor is actually the first Hamilton County suburb to have passed a non-discrimination ordinance. And I am endorsed by the Victory Fund, by LPAC, and I'm here to speak to you today to express my enthusiastic support for the Lebanon Pride Festival. The Lebanon Pride Festival had been on my calendar for months. My wife and I made the drive up. We recruited friends to come with us, and we had an amazing day. The weather was beautiful. We were in awe of just the display of queer joy at this festival. And it's my understanding that none of you were able to attend. As elected officials, I do have to say that I find that very, very disappointing. These are individuals that whether or not they voted for you, you still represent them, and it is still your obligation as officials to be there and support them. You are happily accepting tax dollars from them, whether it's income tax or sales tax or anything like that. You have an obligation to engage with them. I took a look at the council goals that you all have. There is a section in there that talks about your vision being to be a thriving and sustainable community that embraces opportunity, innovation, and authenticity. That's what this festival is about, is celebrating authenticity. I was in the closet until I was 37 years old. And once I came out and once I met my wife, the joy that I experienced of living my life authentically to family who has taken steps to no longer speak to me because it is not in line with their Catholic values is disappointing. However, what I have found is community. I have found community in the queer culture. I have found community in my queer neighbors, and we would drop anything, just like I know anybody in this room, if whether you are blood related or not, you are going to come if that person calls you. That is what we do for one another, and even more so because we know that others are trying to prevent us from being our authentic selves, and that's just not acceptable. So I implore you that as community members, as residents of this wonderful city, that when you have the opportunity to do better, take the opportunity. You have a room full of people here imploring you to encourage this event to continue. Take that opportunity. Just do it. Thank you.
Cleveland Canova, is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Cleveland Canova, live at 792 Harvard Drive. I'm a candidate for Ohio House of Representatives for this district. Thank you for having me tonight, Mr. Mayor. We lost a great American on June 1st. His obituary deserves to be read. Colonel Edward Thomas Ryan, who lived in Executive House Apartments, Swan Street, Albany, New York, has died. Till his recent move, he was a lifelong resident of the city of Rensselaer. His brother was Rosemary, Cornelius, Joan, Bernadette, and Joseph Ryan. He is survived by many nieces and nephews: Linda Sargent, Dennis Williams, Teresa Beach, George Williams, Warren Williams, Mary Jane Brzezowski, Judith Leto. He was a member of St. John's Church of Rensselaer. He was a retired fireman of the city of Rensselaer. He was one of the owners of the founders of the radio station in Albany, New York. Mr. Ryan had a Bachelor's of Arts degree from American University and a Bachelor of Science from SCU. He was a member of the International Association of Firefighters. He was a lifelong member of the Vietnam Veterans of America, chairman of the Vietnam Veterans, Agent Orange Committee, American Legion Post, and a life member, past Grand Knight of Rensselaer Knights of Columbus, and a member of the BPOE. A few of Colonel Ryan's awards, decorations, and commendations include the National Defense Service Medal, Defense of Liberty Medal, participation in the state of the following on the attack of 9/11, 2001. He also received a citation by the direction of the Governor of the State of New York, the Conspicuous Service Medal. The citation reads in part, Colonel Ryan's loyalty, diligence, and devotion to duty was in keeping with the highest traditions of the military service and long and distinguished military career. A credit to himself and the State of New York, the military and naval affairs. Mr. Ryan was also enrolled in the anatomical gift program, for his body will be cremated. Colonel wanted to share this as well. I must tell you one more thing. I was gay my whole life, through grade school, through high school, through college, through life. I was in a loving and caring relationship with Paul Cavagnero of North Greenbush. He was the love of my life. I will be buried next to Paul. I'm so sorry for not having the courage to come out as gay. I was afraid of being ostracized by family, friends, co-workers. Seeing how people like me were treated, I just could not do it. Now that my secret is known, I'll forever rest in peace. I'll be buried along next to my love of my life, Paul. I was at the Pride Festival. The opposite of pride.
You have 10 seconds.
The opposite of pride is shame. The opposite of pride is shame. The bravest American didn't have the courage to do it. These people did. That's all, Councilman. Thank you.
Angela Kay.
Hi, I'm Angela Kay, and I live in Lebanon. I wanted to say something about how wonderful it was to see all the kids that were here and how they all felt comfortable being in a safe haven, but everybody has said that. I wanted to point out that I have been in Lebanon for 28 years, and I've had 4 kids of my own that all went through Lebanon City Schools. 3 of my brothers graduated from Lebanon City Schools, and one of those brothers, there's an age difference. One went all the way through Lebanon City Schools as well. You acquire a lot of kids that way. You get your 4 kids, you get your son-in-law, you get your drumline kids, you get your band kids, your orchestra kids, choir kids, soccer kids, confirmation kids, first communion kids. It's a lot of kids. And a lot of them came back that day, July 20th. They were very excited. A lot of them stopped in to say how happy they were that they could be back home and feel comfortable and feel happy. They felt like it was a safe haven. They didn't want to come back for so long because they didn't feel like they were comfortable or welcome in their own town. And that was really sad. A lot of those kids said that it was a safe haven, a sanctuary city, if you will. And I was really glad that they could come back and they could feel comfortable and be happy back in their hometown. I also want to talk as a business owner real quick. I'm a business on Mulberry Street. And I've seen all of the festivals for 6.5 years. I've been for all of them. And they all have their fun little, their gimmick. The Western Country Music Festival has all their little Daisy Dukes and all their cowboy hats. The Blues Fest is very eccentric. There's a lot of different kind of people that go to that one. The Feast and Folly Festival is really cozy, really cute. That one's really nice. And the Christmas Festival is very festive. And the Pride Festival, that one was really happy. And I was the business that had the protesters in front of it, and I still said it was happy. Everybody had a really good time. It was colorful, it was festive, everybody was happy. People came into the shop, and I was actually really blown away. That happened to be, so far for the 2024 business year, that was our biggest day in sales so far. Looking at the past year, that was our number 3 day for sales. Nothing will ever compete with the Christmas festival. That's okay. But that was the 3rd biggest sales day. I was blown away. People were so happy to be in Lebanon. They loved the town. They loved the vendors. They loved how festive it was. I mean, it was really colorful. It was decorated. I don't think any of our other festivals do that. We should do that. That was really cute. I really like that part. I just wanted to thank everybody, all of you guys. Oh my gosh. It was a great day. It was a lot of work that went into it, and everybody mentioned how they hope to do it next year. Everyone wants to come back. All of our extra kids, all of my kids, all of the visitors, and all of the shoppers want to come back for the festival next year. So I would like to see that happen. Thanks.
Kristen Davenport.
Hi, I'm Kristen Davenport, and I live at 1409 Harvest Run in Lebanon. A while back, a friend asked if I would help and volunteer at a kids zone at a festival in downtown Lebanon. And I thought about it. You know, frankly, my parents, didn't raise me to appreciate the kind of festival I was invited to help at. They kind of looked down on those folks, and I was a little apprehensive. I wasn't sure if I would fit in. I wasn't sure what I would wear. I wasn't sure if I would enjoy myself. But I trusted my friend, and I went and I volunteered anyways, and I'm happy to report I really enjoyed the Country Music Festival in downtown Lebanon. My true story, told with a little twist of comic relief, is to try to demonstrate that though honky-tonk music is not for this woman, drag shows might not be for others. But there's room in Lebanon for all of it. We have a big, vibrant, growing community. Let's not take a step back. Let's be a community for all of our neighbors. I would like to just urge the council to please advocate for Lebanon Pride to become an annual festival with the Festival Commission. And I say this as a Christian, as a wife and a mother, as a community leader. Lebanon should be for everyone. Thank you.
Jennifer Budnai?
Very close.
This is harder than it looks like.
Hello, I'm
Wait till I have
Jennifer.
to say Giannis's name.
It never does not sound the way it looks at all. Jennifer Boudre, I'm at 192 Woodford Circle in Lebanon. I moved to Lebanon in April of 2024, so I'm the newbie in the room. And I'm here to share my perspective as a homeowner, as a business owner, a queer ally, a parent of queer children, and a parent and mother and mother-in-law of 2 pastors. My significant other and I chose to buy a home in Lebanon, not just because it's a charming city, which it is, but specifically because we learned that Lebanon was hosting its first ever Pride Festival. We chose Lebanon over all of the other places between Cincinnati and Dayton, because a Pride Festival here meant that we would find a community committed to creating a safe and affirming environment for everyone. It meant that the people we love, our queer family members and friends, would be safe and welcome here. Before moving here, I served as the training manager for Equality Loudoun in Loudoun County, Virginia. And Loudoun County is a lot like Warren County in a lot of ways. We held our first Pride Festival in 2021 in collaboration with the Parks Department, and we had 1,500 attendees, and we thought it was a great success. In 2024, there were over 5,000 people in attendance at Loudon Pride, hopefully Lebanon Pride too. We featured more than 150 local and regional businesses and nonprofits. So my business focuses on facilitating, educating, and coaching people on queer allyship. As a former librarian, I do my research. So I'm going to hit you with a few statistics. Anka stole several of mine, so I'm going to let those go. But it is important for you to know that Ohio ranks 6th in the nation for the largest number of LGBTQ plus adults, more than 550,000 people. Nationally, 20 to 30% of Gen Z identify as LGBTQ plus. I'm glad to hear that you are supportive of efforts to end human trafficking. More than 46% of LGBTQ youth do not feel welcomed at home, and many of them end up unhoused because they've been rejected by their family. 40% of homeless youth are LGBTQ plus, and 1 in 3 of them, within the first 48 hours of leaving their homes, will be involved in sex trafficking as a matter of survival. But LGBTQ plus issues are important to straight people too. 82% of straight consumers are more likely to purchase from companies that support LGBTQ plus equality. And 72% of allies are more likely to accept a job at a company supportive of LGBTQ plus employees. So Pride is a celebration of queer people and an opportunity to show LGBTQ plus individuals and allies in our community that they are welcomed and that they are loved. The inaugural Lebanon Pride did just that. And as a Pride Festival volunteer, I was moved by the outpouring of love, acceptance, and celebration from so many, and so impressed with the way that it was run.
Jennifer.
Lebanon Pride, last sentence. Lebanon Pride is good for business, good for community, and good for Lebanon. Let's keep it going.
Thank you.
Hello, my name's Sierra Long, and I live at 926 Kearns Drive. I've lived in Lebanon for the past 5 years. Today, I'm here to voice my strong support for hosting an annual Pride Festival in our city. Pride is more than just a celebration. It embodies the values of inclusivity, diversity, and equality. When I think of the future of Lebanon, I think of my 2-year-old daughter and the kind of community I want her to grow up in. One that fosters a sense of belonging, no matter who she grows up to be, especially in times when inclusivity is more crucial than ever. This event presents a unique opportunity for Lebanon to lead by example, demonstrating that we are a city where everyone is welcome, respected, and valued. I understand that some members of our community may hold different views regarding LGBTQ plus lifestyles. However, it is important to remember we all lead our own unique lives, and understanding or agreeing with someone is not a prerequisite for extending respect. We owe it to our queer community members to offer kindness and support, regardless of differing beliefs. Moreover, the economic impact of such a festival cannot be ignored. Pride events attract visitors from near and far, providing a boost to local businesses and contributing to our city's economy. Our restaurants, retail shops, local artists, and service providers will benefit from increased patronage, creating a positive ripple effect throughout the community. I have seen these types of benefits firsthand. As the owners of a jewelry store in nearby Fairfield, my family and I have always prioritized creating an environment that is welcome to all. We've had the honor of helping many same-sex couples find their wedding rings, an experience that's been not only deeply fulfilling, but has brought us repeat customers, referrals, and positive reviews. Allowing Pride Festival to continue in Lebanon would be a powerful statement of our city's commitment to equality and human rights. It would send a message that Lebanon is dedicated to creating a community where everyone can thrive regardless of their sexual orientation or gender identity. Thank you.
Me?
Yep.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Sorry, you can hear because you're clapping.
But it's okay, keep it going.
Hi, I'm Alicia Lipton. I live at 466 Columbus Avenue in Lebanon. And first, I would like to personally thank Scott and Mark for coming to the festival. It was great to see you both there and enjoying the day. The next thing I would like to share, this is going to make Scott happy, because I know with city budgets, every dollar counts. Every amount counts, and especially during a political season. If you're trying to buy advertising, it gets crazy because the political ads get priority, and then business or organization, not profit, they have to pay a higher rate in order to get on the air. So not only did we have 10,000 people come into Lebanon for the festival, but you also earned a publicity value of $66,346.70. So those are advertising dollars that are invaluable. And it was all positive sentiment. That was from our Dayton stations, our Cincinnati stations, and even as far away as Columbus. You had over 3 million eyes looking at those positive stories about acceptance and love in Lebanon. The following week, we had another festival. That was our Blues Fest, which is always widely popular. People from all over, probably the tri-state area, come. It's been going on, I think somebody said this was their 20th year, 25th year, and we want that for Pride. We want to continue and go on. The Blues Fest, even having been around for so long, typically something around a long time doesn't garner as much news coverage because people expect it to be fun, they expect it to be great. But they had a publicity value that they earned of just over $5,700. So in 2 weeks, the city of Lebanon got positive publicity value of over $70,000. And that's pretty hard to shake a stick at. The end of the day, I went home that night, I was exhausted because I was there when it was still dark out. And all I could do was smile because everybody there was so happy. We had a few protesters, 4 or 5, but they weren't from here. They were from Dayton, and they stayed around for a couple of hours and got bored and went home. Our city department that worked the festival, our police department, our fire department, everybody was having a great time. Everybody was mingling, everybody was happy. Usually at any event, there's always a curmudgeon walking around grumbling about something. And I did not see that within our festival perimeter. I saw 1 or 2 on the outside kind of peeking in, but they didn't come. So I asked and encourage you to work with our festival and tourism committee and have them give us the permission to continue for many, many years, to be able to be that safe place for people within our city, those considering moving to our city, and those wanting to spend money in our city. Thank you.
Thank you. Paul and Allison, Matured?
Assured, I didn't say that.
Oh, yeah.
So, Paul and Alice Mashurda here in Lebanon. Just quickly start, I was at the VA for 32 years in engineering, and I heard many complaints about things we were doing wrong, and occasionally I'd get those calls that something I did right. So that's what tonight is about, just to share something that we're happy about and pleased to share. We come before you guys wearing 2 hats, both as residents and small business owners. My wife and I moved here in 2003. We were actually married in this building by former Mayor Amy BREWER down in Conference Room A, and we fell in love with this hometown, our new hometown. We loved it here. And then in December of 2021, we realized a dream and opened our own small business here on Broadway. As longtime residents, we've always loved all the variety of festivals and things to do. I mean, Horse-Drawn Carriage Parade, Blues Fest, which turned me into a blues fan, by the way, totally. Apple Fest, Country Music Fest, Third Friday concerts, Butterfly Release, the first ever Warren County Arts Festival, Merchant Street. I could go on and on, you guys all know it all, but there's just so much variety here, and that's what we loved about it. You got me. Recently, we've had this brand new event we've been hearing about tonight, the Lebanon Pride Festival. As shop owners, Alice and I, we get to see firsthand on our events how it not only brings in locals, but out-of-town people. And I'm a talker, and so I love talking to people, and I love hearing why people come here. And I can tell you, it's always positive. Folks find our town charming, as you've heard. And Lebanon Pride was no exception. That day we had people from all over complimenting what a great town we had, how cool this town was doing this, and just nothing but positive. It was awesome as a little shop owner. So, and just a lot of compliments for our little town, which I was very proud of. When we closed up our shop that night, we decided to go as festival attendees on our walk home, and we thoroughly enjoyed ourselves. Again, talking to the vendors, talking to people who attended, and just the feeling, I know you've heard it over and over, but just happiness, and it was just a joy, a true joy. It reminded me, I don't know if anybody got to attend the Ultimate Frisbee Championship, the after party. I happened to walk through with my dogs that night. Oh my God, those athletes were having the time of their life, and just, it made me, it's infectious. It made me happy just walking my dogs through. That's kind of how I felt that day. Just people, I was even happier. I didn't know that was possible. So I'm closing, and I'm probably rambling away here. So therefore, as residents and shop owners, we just wanted to thank Council for supporting all of these events, all these diverse events. And they seem to keep growing, and we keep adding more. Like I said, the Warren County Arts Festival, and now we've added Pride. And it just makes our town richer and funner. You know, even if I don't like something, as you've heard, I don't go, but usually I go to all of them because I love being outside and attending these things. But we also understand, me being, again, engineering background, I know a lot of energy and planning, coordination go into all of it, each and every one of these. So that's what we're grateful for. We don't take that for granted. We walk down and enjoy it, but we know a lot of effort, not only from the people working, but for the infrastructure and support. So I wanted to thank you guys for that, and like many others, we hope this thing keeps rolling because it was really awesome. So, thank you all.
Joshua Marsh.
All right, good evening. I'm Josh Marsh, 232 Briar Gate Drive here in Lebanon. I've been a resident of Lebanon since 2004. All my kids were born and raised here. Lebanon's our home. I'm active in the community through the Optimist Club's Avenue of Flags program. I've been a soccer coach for 13 years. I support the LHS band, and I volunteered for several local festivals. I've been employed by Kroger for 32 years and hold an executive level position. I'm also a local real estate agent and investor. I want to thank the City of Lebanon for supporting our inaugural Pride Festival. I volunteered all day and was overwhelmed by the positive community response. Huge thank you for the professionalism of the city staff and the police department. I witnessed positive change since moving here in 2004. Being the county seat, Lebanon has an opportunity to set the tone for what it is to be an inclusive community. I understand that differences in ideology create division, segregation, and ultimately isolation. We must look beyond our differences, even if they challenge our own personal beliefs. First and foremost, we must learn to be kind to our fellow humans, respect our differences, and learn to coexist. With that, there is strength. Having spent 3 decades in the corporate world, I've learned to respect and embrace diversity. It allowed me to be a better leader and solve problems through different perspectives. This really doesn't have anything to do with being queer, and that's the point. We get blinded by our differences and can no longer value or appreciate what others offer. We marginalize members of our own community because of their differences and force them into isolation or to leave for better opportunities. I have a trans son, and if it weren't for the support they received at home and the amazing LHS band community, teachers, parents, students, I may have lost him. Learning that he contemplated suicide on more than one occasion devastated me. Learning that it was a result of not feeling like he belonged here in this town, well, it broke my heart. He belongs here no less than any other citizen, but he did not feel welcome. We must change this. Pride is about education, inclusion, and celebrating diversity. It's an opportunity to expose others to different aspects of our culture. I suspect there were several people that witnessed their first drag show and were amazed at the performances, maybe a little surprised that it wasn't at all what they expected, in a good way. More importantly, it's a way to show those that feel marginalized and isolated that there is support for them in Lebanon, that it's an opportunity to be accepted, to belong, and ultimately be an advocate and productive member of our community. I cannot stress enough how important this is, especially for our youngest citizens. Thank you for your time.
Hey everybody, my name is Lauren Wolf. I'm from Silverwood Farms in Lebanon. My pronouns are they, them, theirs. I'm a soon-to-be mother, and I've been a resident at the city of Lebanon for about 3 years now. What brought us to Lebanon in the first place, my husband and I, was its beauty and its small town feel. My husband and I love the festivals, we love the shops, and we love getting to know our community. As beautiful as Lebanon is, I have continued to feel like an outsider at someone who is from the LGBTQ plus community. Some things are like online bullying from the locals, some shop owners who pretend we don't exist, not the ones here today, they're pretty awesome, and generally just some dirty looks and comments that are some of my experiences I have. However, the Pride Festival gave me so much joy and so much hope. It was almost a little overwhelming. I cried at parts because of the mass amount of love I felt. And as a resident and soon-to-be mom, I want Lebanon to continue to be a safe and accepting place for me and my future child. I want my child to feel like they can be whoever they want to be while they enjoy a cup of coffee on Mulberry or attend one of our many festivals. Lebanon Pride allowed for a community with well-intentions and like-minded people to celebrate their individuality, develop deeper connections, and to lessen the isolation people feel in the LGBTQ plus community often. Don't we all deserve a space to call home? Let's keep Lebanon Pride and continue to let our community thrive.
You're up, man. You're the first one to sign in, they all was.
All right, so pleasure to be here, friends. Mayor Messer. Just wanted to come and sort of speak as a former resident of Lebanon, because that's what got all of this started as far as my involvement. There is something to be said about the definition of family value and the addition of youth to a Pride Festival. And I just wanted to say a few things. Number one, I was never going to have a wife. No matter how many times my teachers asked me why I was playing with the girls or where my girlfriend was or any of those things. Younger me would have benefited quite a bit by the support Lebanon Pride has given, not only to parents, but to members of the community in all aspects. The keep the kids out of it sentiment that we hear a lot, unfortunately, we have yet to have a human being willing to have a conversation, but I would like to speak to that as well. As a former K-12 art teacher, that kind of terrifies me, because people who say that come from a place of privilege who do not understand what it means to not have a place to belong. And that gift is not bestowed to everyone in our community that lives outside of the social bell curve. Many people I saw at Lebanon Pride were former LHS attendees who vowed to never come back to the city. They felt like it was just a place that did not represent them. If anything, it brought them a lot of trauma. And we were able to reconnect and talk very positively about this place, which was wonderful. And finally, I can say that I am now no longer one of those "I'm never going there" people. And I can say I am an advocate because there are so many wonderful people in this city. And I would really like for you all to do your magic behind the scenes and help us get Lebanon Pride to 2025.
Good evening, Council. My name is Leslie Nahigian. I live at 517 Heritage Trace. I'm a longtime Lebanon resident. I am privileged to sit on the board of Lebanon Pride, and I am a very proud ally here today. First off, I want to recognize the City of Lebanon here in front of Council and give a huge thank you to Mr. Brunka and the entire staff of the City of Lebanon, Police Department, Fire, EMS, Traffic, Streets. We appreciate your presence. We appreciate the professionalism and the help that was given that day. Truly, this is the best city crew anywhere. So I have the privilege of sharing the highlight reel with you tonight. We had nearly 10,000 attendees. We promised a family-friendly festival, and that was reflected in the demographics of those who came to visit us. Most of our attendees were between 15 and 29 years of age, so lots of youthful enthusiasm. We exceeded our fundraising goal. We were hopeful to get 20,000 or 30,000 for our Bare Bones Festival. We figured 40,000 or 50,000 would get us the festival kind of our dreams. We raised about $66,000 for our festival, and we were happy to pay our bill to the city this week, so we are all paid up. We had over 220 volunteer slots. 90% of those were filled. The morning of the festival, we had folks that just showed up that day and stayed for a long time to help out wherever needed. We had a safe festival. There were no arrests. I think there was just one medical urgency that happened. And we are also proud that we are not just a festival that happens once a year. We hosted multiple social events for the community here in Lebanon and family and friends. We also have hosted service events with the food pantry. We've spread mulch for the city, and we look forward to doing more of that. On our website, the city website, if my phone doesn't time out on me, there's information on the history tab that reads, "Lebanon is a city rich in history and heritage. Its civic pride is evident in its cleanliness, warmth, and fervent desire to include everyone in the community." That was never more real to me than it was on July 20th, 2024. So we thank the city, we thank you, Council. It was a great event. We hope we did you proud, and not bad for a bunch of newbies, huh?
I did have a question from maybe one of the board members. So it seems like by all accounts, I mean, I don't know how many more folks we have to speak, but it seems like by all accounts, it was a pretty good event, regardless of the comments from a member from another community. I was there, so a little bit of assumptions made, I think. And so it seemed like it went well. I think there was a fear, or there were comments about restrictions. So it feels like the restrictions that were placed on the drag show, making sure there's no interaction with minors, that didn't seem to be a big deal.
Nope.
Okay, and that would be the intent moving forward?
We were very careful to want to honor the community of Lebanon and to make good on our promise to be a family-friendly festival. Mr. Brunka provided those obscenity regulations, and we made sure we stayed way on the family-friendly side.
Which I appreciated. That's what I saw.
Good.
And I appreciated that. I just want to see if that was a commitment moving forward.
Absolutely.
That those guidelines seem to work well.
Absolutely.
Good.
I actually talked with a family at the end of the evening. She is a former Lebanon resident, recently moved her family back to the area, veteran and educator. And she expressed that she has always wanted to have her family attend a Pride event, but to attend a Pride event someplace like Cincinnati is a very different experience than attending a Pride event here in Lebanon. So we recognized, early on, there's a need for a family-centered, safe, not a lot of skin and leather kind of deal. So we were happy to bring that to Lebanon and Warren County. So,
Thank you.
thank you.
Kimberly Gray.
Thank you.
Must be gone. Joy Bennett.
Hi, good evening. Joy Bennett. I live in Mason, and I was a volunteer at the Lebanon Pride Festival, and I just wanted to talk to you about what I saw. I worked in hospitality, so for about 3 hours, I carried a broom and dustpan around, and I wiped down tables, and just from the perspective of cleanup crew, it was an incredibly clean festival. I think I maybe picked up 3 pieces of trash the whole 3 hours. Really the only need for my services was at the tables because people would purchase food, go sit down, eat, and then there would sometimes be a little bit of a mess. So that's really what I spent my time doing. Came early, stayed late, really enjoyed the event. It was just a very positive vibe, as everyone has said. But I thought it might be helpful for you all, as I know you're thinking about the logistics, the cost, and all of the infrastructure that goes into having an event like this. It was very clean, and there were tons of people working together to make it go really smoothly. So, thank you. Would love to see it happen again. Would love to come back up here and volunteer the whole day. We loved it. A whole bunch of friends came, so definitely brought people in from out of town.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, that wraps up all the Pride comments. I really do appreciate everyone coming out. Sorry if I mispronounced your name. I appreciate the organization and how they portrayed the event and how they stuck to your word. This is obviously, as everyone said, this was a new event to the city of Lebanon. And there was lots of concern that this would turn into something, as Mr. Coe put, that was not becoming of the culture that this town and the city is about. I appreciate the thought and the time that you guys put into putting on a festival that was, from my knowledge, there was no problems, there was no issues, and lots of comments tonight going back to loved and valued, safe haven, welcoming community, made in God's image. When the city is creating policy, the city is creating a policy that is going to not infringe on the liberties and the rights of its citizens. If we were to do that, there would be obviously issues because we are ruled by a constitution of the United States and we uphold that. Your organization went through the policy. You guys met every standard, and from all accounts, you guys pulled off a very well-run event, and I appreciate that from the city's perspective. I thank you for your comments, and nobody else has anything else?
I didn't get a chance to get something to sign up to speak. Is that okay if I was
We're all here. But,
Is that good?
yeah, if you could just sign in a sign the sheet over there, that'd be great. Oh, with Dan.
Oh, just your name.
And there are flyers here for the walk. I don't know if anybody would like to pass those out.
That's good.
Oh man, I did it, didn't I? Amy, let everybody talk, right?
What?
We let everybody talk, right?
Everybody's here.
Everybody's here.
Talk.
Is this mic, is good?
That's enough, yes, sir.
Okay. Well, my name is Chris Routson. And what I'm about to say, I just want to say it with humility, without hate or malice, but out of love and concern for my neighbors who I am called as a Christian to love as myself. So John Adams wrote, "Our Constitution was made only for a moral and religious people. It is wholly inadequate to the government of any other." So homosexuality is not moral according to God, according to the Word of God. As Christians, we're to uphold and fear God rather than men. And any church leader who says any different is a false teacher. But so I urge you as a community of leaders to resist the fear of man and fear God, and as a moral and religious people, and to work to avoid the judgment of God on the city of Lebanon. So Psalm chapter 2, verse 10 through 12 says, "Now therefore, O kings, be wise, be warned, O rulers of the earth, kiss the Son." Or it says, "Serve the Lord with fear and rejoice with trembling. Kiss the Son, lest he be angry and you perish in the way, for his wrath is quickly kindled. Blessed are those who take refuge in him." There is room for God's mercy and grace at the cross. I urge you all to take refuge in him. So Romans 1, 16 through 32 says, "For I am not ashamed of the gospel, for it is the power of God for salvation to everyone who believes, to the Jew first, and also to the Greek. For in it the righteousness of God is revealed from faith for faith, as it is written, the righteous shall live by faith. So, for the wrath of God is revealed from heaven against all ungodliness and unrighteousness of men who by their unrighteousness suppress the truth. For what can be known about God is plain to them, because God has shown it to them. For his invisible attributes, namely his eternal power and divine nature, have been clearly perceived ever since the creation of the world without excuse." The Lord says, so they are without excuse. "For although they knew God, they did not honor him as God or give thanks to him, but become futile in their thinking, and their foolish hearts were darkened. Claiming to be wise, they became fools and exchanged the glory of the immortal God for images resembling mortal man, birds and animals and creeping things. Therefore God gave them up to the lust of their hearts, to impurity, to the dishonoring of their bodies among themselves, because they exchanged the truth of God for a lie and worshipped and served the creature rather than the Creator, who is blessed forever." Amen. "For this reason God gave them up to dishonorable passions, for their women exchanged natural relations for those who are contrary to nature. And the men likewise gave up natural relations with women, and were consumed with passion one for another, committing shameless acts with men, receiving in themselves the due penalty for their error. And since they did not see fit to acknowledge God, God gave them up to a debased mind."
I hate to interrupt scripture, but you were at 3 minutes.
Okay. So all that to say is there is room at the cross. We love our community. We love, I've had family members die of AIDS. I have, there's no judgment here by me, but you're not going to stand before all your peers on the day of judgment and everyone who affirms you. But you will stand before God on the day of judgment, and I just want to close with that. And we love you. We want you to know Christ. We want you to know him crucified. If God took 100% of your wrath, how much is left for you? 0%. For there's no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus.
No, okay.
Nope.
So that's not gonna work. So hold on, stay right there. So thank you. As a Christian, and I've claimed it. If anyone's watched any videos, I mean, people have seen that. And as a public official, I have to, one lady that came up and spoke, she said it really well about how we have to honor and respect everybody. Everyone in this room are created in the image of God.
Absolutely.
And so people's individual situation and where they are in their relationship with God, or none at all, is their personal business.
Absolutely.
The fact that we have had clergy stand in here and speak against the Word of God, I'd ask one of the pastors that spoke, please email me the scripture where it says a sexual relationship outside of a heterosexual marriage is okay. Email it to me. I would love to see it. I would love to sit down and talk and have coffee over it, because I think that is, everybody else has their own opinions. I respect it. I stood up for this event and having the ability of people to have this event. What you just read is very offensive.
And also,
If you could please,
So, yeah, we had such a great, respectful discussion so far. It would be a real shame to waste it. And in case anybody's not aware, the acoustics in this room are galactically poor, okay? And you may actually think that you're, just whispering or, you're being discreet. It's like you're sitting right here. So you had your say, everyone was able to speak and have their say, and everybody in the whole room was respectful. So let's honor that by continuing and not being disrespectful to those of you who may have different opinions.
So thank you. I appreciate your work. I know people find it offensive.
Sure. Yeah, just let not me put any offense, but the offense of the cross be the only offense, but that they would become renewed in spirit and mind and be truly born again, and then actually be set free. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. Wyatt Bradley Vanover, 116 West Silver Street. I live here in Lebanon, Ohio. Only been here for a couple of years. I know this is time to speak, but I would like to take a moment of silence for the people that we have lost. Our queer folks, our firemen, everyone. So, for a moment, please. So might it be. Thank you, everyone, for paving the steps ahead. And thank you for letting me speak last moment. Sorry. As your queer youth, Gen Z, I'm only 18, and seeing this has really brought light to eyes that are younger. I've lost way too many people to suicide or harmful subjects. To see people still suffering is endlessly despicable. And I'm just here to say thank you and to push forward for Lebanon Pride to be annually and to bring light to those people. I'm so sorry to everyone who has lost someone. I'm here. Thank you.
Can you sign in, please?
No, I had to sign in.
I think he has one sheet there for you. Just name and address. Is it on this topic, sir, or another?
Here for the subject or something else?
The subject.
Thank you. My name is Ralph Saltzgaver. I've lived in Lebanon probably longer than anyone in this room's been alive. I've been a neighbor of Mike. I've worked with Scott, and I'm proud of Lebanon. Been here 82 years, born in Blair Hospital, and my wife and I have owned businesses here. I'm out on a bicycle ride on August 20th, get some exercise about 5 o'clock. And I thought I'd go by Bill Duning's office, and I understood there's going to be a gay pride parade, but I guess that got changed and it was turned into a festival. I have no problem with that. We live in Florida in the winter, and we have gay and lesbian friends there. The best boss I ever had was a gay guy when I worked at Heinz. My issue is, I get to Bill's office, the stage is up there, it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday. There's no festival going on. Everything, the streets are cleaned, it was gone. But there's 3 drag queens performing. They have music, they're playing up on the stage, and they're out taking dollar bills from the kids lining, and the adults lining the street around them while they dance. I've never been so disgusted with Lebanon in my life, and I hope council didn't approve that kind of activity. I have all the respect in the world for gay and lesbians, but I don't respect indoctrinating young children to grow up to be a drag queen if that's what the idea was. Thank you very much.
Next we have Giannis Skrouchos.
Really good job.
My name is Giannis Skrouchos, as you just heard. I live at 663 Carson Drive here in Lebanon. First of all, I want to thank you for the work you do representing the citizens of this city. I have had a very small taste of what you do just trying to represent the interests of my neighborhood. It's amazing what it requires. Although my appearance today may be a bit premature, some of you, including Mayor Messer, Mr. Brunca, are familiar with my concerns about threats to our neighborhood. Henkel Schuler is planning a development of 45-plus homes adjacent to our well-established neighborhood that will add a minimum of 100 cars traveling along Carson Drive. This is in addition to the development of 12 lots on Lake Bluff Court, adding a minimum of 24 cars just from that part to our development. We object to the plan to connect Carson Drive to Hart Road. This proposed connection will open Carson Drive to traffic from Neil Armstrong Way, Broadway, and other routes. As an example, this morning, actually it was yesterday morning, cross-country teams were jogging on Carson Drive, as they will all season, and in the spring, track and field will do the same. The proposed plan puts these youth at risk, in addition to the residents of the neighborhood, every single day. Those objecting to our request of keeping a single point of entry argue that if a tree falls blocking Carson Drive, it will prevent entry for emergency vehicles. This is a remote possibility, whereas the danger of daily traffic hazards is a guaranteed result. I'm confident that some, if not all of you, have watched the WLWT broadcast representing our concerns that also showed a letter provided by Henkel Schuler that is completely irrelevant to this situation. This was a deception and an insult to you, the Planning Commission, and us. Unfortunately, this is a typical way of doing business for being insulting
for Henkel Schuler evidenced by the development of Berkshire Way presented to us as a retirement community, which is far beyond what it has become. We urge you in Planning Commission to take a drive down Carson Drive and see for yourself. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, John. That's the most excited anybody's ever been for she's here to talk about concrete. Kristen Klein.
Out of respect for everyone's time, I will withdraw my question and address it in a different way.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, to the meat and potatoes. We have,
are you going to jump into the agenda?
we only got 2 items.
I just wanted to reiterate a couple points that I've made in the past, but it's good to make these points when there are more people here, because let's be honest, most of our meetings are not very interesting and people don't usually tune in. Perfectly fine, you got much better things to do on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. But I've also made my views very clear as someone who is a Christian conservative, a traditionalist, as I am. However, I want to challenge everyone who hears me to think about some things a little bit differently. One of the themes that I've heard mentioned quite a bit tonight, and I understand where it comes from, is the idea that there are those who, such as myself, that because of our lack of acceptance or support or agreement with particular lifestyles means that we hate anyone, that we don't love them as God intends. And I want to challenge you with a question, as we have heard talking about even the stop traffic walk and various things that we've all seen in our lives, tragic circumstances in the lives of loved ones and family members and friends and neighbors. Ask yourself, do you have to agree with and support everything someone does in order to love them? There are many times in our lives when we know clearly that that is not the case. And I just want to challenge you all to think about how, again, you approach and talk to people such as myself, and make sure that we aren't vilifying each other. Because I want to tell you the truth is that I really do love everybody in this room. Even though you may not think so, even though I may disagree with certain things that you may do or say, again, that does not mean that I and others who believe the way that I do not love you. And then another thing is judgment. This is something that popped up again as a theme tonight. It pops up really, really often. We talk about it all the time. I will joke around with my wife and stuff about it all the time, eating something that she thinks is disgusting, and I'm like, oh, don't judge me, Well, I think that as a symptom of our society today and the way that we look at even our justice system, and this is something I've mentioned before, we have a very false perception of what a judge does and what judging is. A judge is not supposed to write the law. A judge is supposed to apply the law. I, as a believer in traditional Christian values, I am not judging anybody. What I believe is that God's Bible says certain things, and regardless of whether those things are easy to confront or not, whether they are always easy to accept or not, I firmly believe that those are the truth. And I am not acting as a judge when I merely express the beliefs that I hold dear and the truth that in my heart I know and truly believe is right. And so I just want to challenge you also on that front to not always just look at someone such as myself as being judgmental. I'm not the one who is claiming to have made these principles that I stand by. I am just someone who imperfectly and humbly tries to live by them in my own life, and because of my loving and caring for other people, want to share that. And it is always up to you as to whether or not you want to agree with that. I also believe, as a part of my faith, that you come to God voluntarily. It is not something that is done through force. I'm never going to force anything on anyone, because then that defeats the purpose. You're not actually a believer or supporter in God if I somehow force you to do so. So that's not my intention. But again, I just want to bring up those two things. Again, regarding, loving and whether love always means you agree with and support everything someone does, and then also this question of judgment and using that somehow as an attack or any type of vilification on someone who just merely believes differently. So, with that.
Wish I would have said it like that.
I'll leave that with Brayden.
Can we give it a second?
We will have discussion items at the end. New business, ordinance number 2024-073.
Ordinance number 2024-073, authorizing the city manager to enter into a 3-year agreement with Davey Tree Expert for a total expense of $648,000.
This ordinance authorizes a 3-year agreement with Davey Tree in the amount of $648,000 for the trimming of trees along the city's estimated 17 miles of overhead transmission and 100 miles of overhead distribution lines. This work is necessary to protect the reliability of the city's electric distribution system. I did want to point out to council at the work session, like there's a little bit of a disconnect and confusion. The dollar amount was correct, but the vendor was listed as Asplin. It actually, this contract would be with the low bid, which is Davey Tree, for the $648,000.
Yes.
Clarify that.
A motion to, there's a motion for first read. Motion for first read?
So moved.
Second.
Ordinance number 2024-074.
Ordinance number 2024-074 is supplemental appropriation in the amount of $243,204 for the Safe Street for Alston, federal grant supported, and the Sisters Limited Bowman Trail right-of-way acquisition, and declaring an emergency.
This ordinance approves a supplemental appropriation to appropriate funds that were not included in the 2024 budget for the cost to acquire right-of-way property for the Bowman Trail project and the Safe Streets for All engineering project, which are both part of the general fund. Both of these projects are receiving federal grant funding support.
Do I have a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments here? Mr. Burke, please.
I just had a question.
Sure.
Is that from the work session, it was, sorry.
Andrew Johnson, Lebanon. So from the work session, I saw that there's going to be a committee put together for that. I was curious, who's going to be on that committee and how is it going to be formed?
Yeah, I know it's primarily law enforcement, the school district, and then representatives from city council are on the committee. There will be a series of kind of public meetings, public open house, where the public will be encouraged to feedback. So it's kind of two parts. There's kind of a working committee, and then there'll be a public-facing component as they work kind of through the different recommendations and projects.
Okay. Yes, sir. Anything that I can be involved in, I would love to be. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then
keep you up to date.
I have some book gifts for you guys, some books that I want to give you guys before tonight.
Thanks, sir.
Thanks.
City manager's report?
We didn't vote yet.
Oh, did we not vote? Okay, my bad. Mr. Burke.
We're good, we have a second. Mr. Sellers?
Yes.
Mayor Messer?
Yes.
Mrs. Eggers?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Coe.
Yes.
Now the city manager.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Next meeting of City Council will be on Monday, August 19th at 7 p.m. I did want to share some photos. So Mr. Latham had talked about the connectivity to Encore Park and Union Village with the Parkside development. This is the Parkside Trail that's currently under construction that kind of goes through the 58-acre public park in the kind of center of the Parkside development. They are setting the bridges this week, so a couple of shots from this morning of the bridges getting set. So our timeline is to kind of have that Parkside Trail, which is primarily being funded through a state grant, paved this fall. And then certainly, as Mr. Latham discussed, it's our goal to continue to advocate to kind of push our trail system out into the county to provide those connections to Encore Park, sports complex, and beyond. So making progress out there. And then finally, I would like to thank the Lebanon Garden Club for all their work with the butterfly release that took place this past Saturday in Miller Park. They sold out of butterflies. It was a great event and great weather. So a lot of hard work from all of them to make it happen. So just want to thank them.
Very good.
That's all I have, Mayor.
Mr. Sellers, got anything for us?
No, I can't follow up Mr. Smith's statement, but, other than with, a saying, but I do like, he had mentioned something, as a child of God, we're not here to judge, but we're here to apply His law. So, I think that was a powerful statement that I think needs to be in everybody's mind, the back of everybody's mind. I saw the skate park is up, which is really cool. I didn't saw the mayor. You actually got on it.
Absolutely.
Not a skater myself. I'll kill myself. You won't see me on it, but I will observe it. So that's really cool. Great investment. Butterfly release. I wasn't there, but I heard it was great. Saw some cool photos. It's always a great event. Just a reminder: September 7th, 10 a.m. The Stop Traffic Walk. I think it's a really important event. I will definitely be there, and I encourage everybody to do the same. So that's all I got there.
Thanks, sir. Mr. Coe?
No, I think appreciate all the conversations actually tonight. Different viewpoints, so that's good. That's good. Yeah, between the park, pickleball courts, the amount of money that we're putting into the trails, and what we require from developers that come in, it's, I think, the CEO left, would have given him a good understanding, Wendy, how we value the parks and the effort that we're putting into the community. So that's it.
Well, it wasn't, we had our work session last week, we talked about this a little bit, but just in a public meeting. I would like to acknowledge our local police department and all the agencies that were involved in National Night Out and putting on a great event for everybody there. Every year I attend Lebanon and Clear Creek because it's my duty to both, and so those are really enjoyable and the kids love it, and there's lots of agencies involved, and it's a really good event. So that was enjoyable. And the skate park as well, I've had friends contacting me saying, they had a lot of fun over there, so I'm really glad for that. I did want to ask just a question from the Pride organizers, if you don't mind. I just have a question for you because this did come up with some comments, and it's just something that I, had wondered about as well. So, there was a mention of it being a family-friendly event, things like that, and you've given some examples of, how, in what way it is family-friendly. But, as with any event, even myself, when I have a birthday party or any type of event, I always think about what did I do well, what could I change for the future, those kind of things. So I just wondered, as you're thinking about if you were to have a future event, if there might be anything that you would change or do differently as far as meeting that family-friendly definition, as you would say, and especially as it relates to our city. There's the comment that a gentleman made, and I've seen the photos myself of children handing dancers money, and I just wondered if you feel that does you had mentioned, you know, not having the children involved in that and that sort of thing. And I just wondered if you feel like that goes along with a family-friendly definition or not, or, you know, kind of what your take is on that.
Thank you for your question. I'm going to piggyback off of a comment that someone else made about pop culture. I grew up watching MASH with my dad. Jamie Farr's Klinger character was in drag. That was no big deal. It didn't turn me gay. Not that there would be anything wrong with that. Certainly, similarly, Mrs. Doubtfire, Julie Andrews and her work, Barbara Streisand. In my family, and every family's different, drag is no big deal. Drag is art. Drag is a constitutionally protected form of expression. We purposefully put the Kid Zone in one of the mulberry wings, far from the stage, and far from the protesters, as we could plan for. So, you know, I think an expanded Kid Zone, Anka did a fantastic job in programming at the Kid Zone.
And I think performance-wise, since entertainment is my section, specifically within the day, I would say the entertainment would be a bit more varied. I think the crowd needed to be introduced to something that many might have been questioning, what does this actually look like in practice and not just in theory? So that also is in the element of pride. If you look into the history of the queer community, if we were to say no drag queens, that would be a not very proud festival, and that's not the image that we would like to go for. But I would also say that moments more like the karaoke contest, where it was all locals just having fun for no reason other than frivolous enjoyment of each other's time. I think a little bit more community-based in that, so that it's a little more show-offy of different types of people doing different types of things, maybe some entertainment. I think we're gonna get rid of live music just because the vibe wasn't quite where we needed it. But we're also always ready to talk to whoever has opinions about what direction that could go in a good way.
Thank
you. Just wanna say the skate park, awesome. I also will not be there because I will break my neck.
Really close to your house.
I will, yeah. It's really close. It's tempting, but I will, yeah. Not my forte.
I'll go if you go first.
Oh, if I go first? Yeah, of course you can say that. I'm not going to take up on that challenge, not here in public. But awesome to see that, and then National Night Out, really, really great to see our law enforcement and community members come together as one community. It's really, really great. I'm actually wearing my Lebanon police little wristband that I got at that event. So it was really nice to see those.
It's like we get you out of these speeding tickets.
I actually asked Barry Riley about that. And he was like, yeah, he's like, that doesn't work. Yeah. But yeah, other than that, that's all I got.
Very good. Well, I appreciate everyone coming tonight. It's been a long meeting, so I hope you guys have a safe trip home. And we will be in communication and contact as this year rolls forward, and you have a great night. Mr. Burke, can I get a motion to close the meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Burke, please call roll.
Mayor Nestor?
Yes.
Mr. Sellers?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Eggers? Yes. Mr. Coe?
Yes.
Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week.